What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you're enjoying your Wednesday morning so far. We're going to make this a quick video, and as usual in these morning videos leading up to a big storm, all we're going to do is go over model guidance and give you the latest and greatest information from overnight and a little bit of this morning's model guidance, and give you the latest updated information as far as the European, the GFS, and we're starting to get into range of some of these short range models and take a look at those things also. So if you guys have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. Like the video if you like it. Follow me on my social media platforms. It's a great way to stay quickly updated. Obviously, I can't make a video every hour, so I'm posting almost hourly on these platforms, especially Twitter. And I know not everybody has Twitter, but it's just a great way to keep up on what's going on with the latest information. So thank y'all for the amazing support. If you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put in the comments below. And I'll definitely be praying for you guys, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be too. Definitely take advantage of that. It's a great way to look out for one another, guys. It really is, and to glorify God. So let's get going here. So there's been some changes overnight, leading up to probably about the midnight model guidance. Things were trending real west. Model guidance has ticked a little bit more east, but now it's starting to come in back a little bit west. Remember, there's going to be a bunch of flip-flopping. I remember last Wednesday when we were tracking the winter storm for the southeast, mainly in the Carolinas. I remember Wednesday being a horrible day as far as model guidance for winter weather lovers. And then Thursday, it all flipped back and came back west. So there's going to be a lot of flip-flopping going on here. But let's take a look at the latest 06Z model from the GFS. Here we got going on. That makes a lot of sense. This is what we have going on. Low pressure develops, and notice it looks a little bit different from basically the model run from 18Z last night that showed snow almost all the way back into the upstate of South Carolina. It's not a bad run. In fact, a lot of North Carolina gets into the action here. Almost all of Virginia does. Portions of South Carolina does. And then we keep just scooting on up the eastern seaboard, and the GFS really is east for the mid-Atlantic sections of the East Coast, meaning Delaware, areas of Maryland, Delmarva area, New Jersey it really robs, New York City it really robs, and Philadelphia and Baltimore, places like that. Washington, D.C. doesn't really get into much of the action. It basically hits areas like Southeast Virginia, eastern areas of North Carolina, kind of skips over the cities I just mentioned, and really crushes areas of southern New England, especially eastern southern New England like Boston and places like this as we get into Saturday. So I know often I'm talking so fast and I forget to mention time frames, but this is going to be cranking up as early as Friday afternoon. I think moisture will start entering areas of eastern and southern South Carolina as early as Friday afternoon. But do you have moisture that builds in over Georgia? What happens here? We still got a good 36 hours worth of model trends to watch, and that is an eternity in the weather world, I'm telling you guys. But this is what the latest GFS shows. It's just one model run, but it still plasters Boston with well over a foot of snow, right? So that's one model run. We take a look and we compare this for the southeast to the last one, which was the OOZ sweep. And not much difference. It's a little bit better. It fills in the snow a little bit more across North Carolina, and literally a tick better for South Carolina. But it is a little better. And I'm going to compare the shortwave energy as far as how much it's digging, when it phases, and what makes these small scale changes happen when you look at the 500 millibar pieces of energy here, and how each little tick southwest, how much it digs, when it phases, makes a huge difference when you're looking at the precipitation maps on these models. So because there's so much more that goes into it than just looking at, okay, is green over my house or blue over my house? There's a lot more that goes into that. So let's take a look at the latest Euro model. This has consistently been showing up for areas of West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, as basically this northern piece of energy basically interacts with the southern piece of energy. So I think regardless, the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, maybe even northeast Tennessee are going to see a little bit of snow from this. I've had a lot of people wondering about Tennessee, a lot of viewers from Tennessee, and I appreciate you guys so much wondering about this. And I think regardless, as you get into probably later in the evening of Friday, it's going to be a snowy evening. I don't think y'all are going to get a crazy amount of snow unless you're in the mountains, but I think that y'all are going to see snow flying around in the mountainous areas. What I'm watching here is the Euro is a miss for the southeast. for the Carolinas as far as the main piece of energy. It's been consistently showing that, honestly. So if this ends up being the case, then it's a big win for the euro for sure. The euro really hasn't flopped around much the last 2 days either. It's been consistent with what it wants to show here. But one thing the euro is consistent with showing is showing some back end precipitation that wraps into the Carolinas. And guys, there's going to be cold air already come funneling in behind this low pressure. So this back end precipitation can be kind of heavy, and it can drop a couple inches of snow. And in fact, it keeps wanting to show areas like Charlotte, the epicenter of this. So, you know, getting into late Friday night into early Friday morning, I wouldn't be surprised either way if this main piece of energy misses us in the southeast, that you have some wraparound snow that wraps in here and then drops a couple inches outside the mountains, maybe as far south as the upstate of South Carolina, maybe getting into Columbia, South Carolina. And then check it out, you're getting into Friday morning, you have snow, a band of light snow going deep into South Carolina. And I feel like this is a realistic scenario. It happens a lot with Miller A kind of situations. You normally have a back end area of precipitation that funnels in that kind of pads the stats for some people who've already got hit hard. But this would show snow, a band of snow all the way into Charleston and Myrtle Beach. Not very heavy, just a light band of snow. But we'll have to watch this piece because it's trending a little bit south. Let's back it up here. The main piece of energy really cranks up for areas of far northeastern North Carolina, for areas like Richmond, Virginia, where you're right on the edge of glory. It's not going to take much for this to trend better in your direction. I mentioned Richmond. I've had a lot of people ask about Richmond, but this really crushes areas like the Delaware Peninsula and areas in just Delaware in general, just the Delmarva area in general. And this comes up and really hits areas of New Jersey in general very hard. But there's going to be a sharp cutoff between light snow and heavy snow. And latest model guidance is really not wanting this to get into Washington, D.C. or much of Maryland at all. But we'll see. This can definitely change. But it's going to be a tight gradient in New York City. It wants to show a band of heavier snow pull in, but y'all don't really get into the meat of this storm. You really don't. But this continues to cycle through, and it just absolutely slams southern New England as we're getting into Saturday afternoon. It's going to be another weekend storm. It's going to slam Maine too. I think confidence increases as far north as you get into Maine. I think this is going to happen for you guys. We're lucky that this is another weekend storm. It's a storm that you can hunker down. It's not going to affect work much. And you can just sit back and enjoy, and hopefully it doesn't do a lot of damage that nor'easters tend to do as far as winds. I want to show you the latest NAM, and this is the one from the OOZ NAM. There's another NAM after this I'll show you. This got everybody excited in the southeast. It got everybody excited, not just in the southeast, especially the southeast, because it wanted to drop 2 to 3 to 4 inches of snow deep into South Carolina. I just don't trust that. I really don't. It got everybody excited. Heck, I was already asleep. I didn't even see it when everybody got all jacked up over it. But this would bring rain to heavy snow for areas of the Carolinas and then Virginia. And then it stops right here and it starts cranking up the eastern seaboard and really slams everybody. Even gets Washington, D.C. into the fun areas of southeast Pennsylvania, and then really starts cranking up a major snowstorm Saturday morning. And it's still snowing back in the Carolinas as far south as Savannah, Georgia. I just don't trust the NAM after what it did the last storm. I really don't. And really nobody should trust the NAM in long range, especially a 12 km NAM. But this is the latest run. It's not as crazy looking, but it still shows snow all the way almost as far south as Beaufort, South Carolina. It shows a nice band of snow wrapping into Myrtle Beach. I think a lot of people could see snow Friday morning across the Carolinas. I really do. But it still shows a very nice event for the whole entire central and eastern half of North Carolina, and shows a nice area of snow for southeast Virginia and then the Delmarva area. But it's a lot more east for areas like New York City and surrounding big cities like Baltimore and Philadelphia. It really is. But it looks like it's still going to come up here and crush areas of Boston. I just think that's a very confident area that's going to get hit pretty hard. So I want to show you this really quick. And I know a lot of people normally don't care about this. Check it out. This is a shortwave. This is our shortwave that we're trying to wait to phase off the coast of the southeast. And we need this to phase quicker, and we need this to dig, and we need it just to come together quicker and a lot more southwest and just dig more. So this is the run from the OOZ that went away from the real nice run that everybody got excited about from the 18Z run, right? So this is what it looks like on the OOZ run. Notice it's digging. You got a cold front digging down here, but you compare this with this, right? there's not a whole lot difference besides, you look at the brighter red colors. But what happens here, the difference is that makes this better, the 06Z, which is the latest run, is it's a sharper dig and it just digs more in general. I quickly flip over to panel. It's just more of a dig in general, and it looks like it's going to phase earlier, which it does. If I was to keep this rolling here, it phases sooner than the latest, than the previous GEFS ensembles do from the OOZ run. But I know people don't really, it's not as big as a deal. It's not as big of a deal to look at things like this, but this is so important. And this is honestly what I look at when these models are coming in before I actually see what the precipitation looks like. You can tell what's going to happen based off what these pieces of energy are doing just to the west before they come over here. 9 times out of 10, you can tell if it's going to be a good run or not. But as far as what the difference looks like right here, well, this is the run. This is the run from overnight, right? This is the current run. Notice it's not a huge difference, but there's a difference, and it's because the trough digs a little bit more. It's a little difference. It pulls in a little bit more heavier precipitation into the Carolinas, but not a massive difference. But it makes all the difference in the world, right? It really does. And you get a couple more ticks. You get this thing to phase in the Eastern Gulf. This would be a big storm. It really would. You look at the latest GFS ensembles, and it just likes areas of the Carolinas more than it does the Mid-Atlantic. And it likes Virginia also, especially Southeast Virginia. But this is a strong signal just east of Raleigh. Raleigh, like I said, I still think y'all are going to get accumulating snow, but I also think there's going to be a swath of accumulating snow, not several inches, that really stretches into the Carolinas too, with some back edge precipitation that moves in behind the system if we miss on the first. My Mid-Atlantic folks and Northeast, it's very close, but it's just one model run. This could continue to tick west, and it's a good run for southern New England, and then areas of the down east area, Maine, are hit hard with this. This can trend west, guys. Do not look at this and just wholesale make a conclusion in your head that this is going to be the scenario that happens. And here it is. I mean, you look at the European ensembles, they're so much more different. They bring the heavier swath of snow well west, and it's a lot different than this. I mean, you compare and contrast these. The European ensembles show basically the Mid-Atlantic, well, I-95 corridor, let's just say that, more love than the GFS ensembles does. It wants to really dig this snowfall accumulating area a lot more southwest. So there's a lot of big differences here, right? So we have to see who's going to win the battle here. I look at the latest RGEM model, which I feel like was a great model over the last storm, and it really it's not budging. It's kind of like the European model. It's just not budging. It does show that back end snow. Look at the back end snow moving into the Carolinas as you're getting into the wee hours of the morning, Saturday morning this weekend. It does show it all the way into the coastal areas of South Carolina and the Carolinas. And it really goes up and crushes the areas of New England and things like that. But it's just really close for the areas of the I-95 corridor south of New York City. So we'll continue to figure out what's going to happen here. I'll give you a longer video tonight breaking down the latest information. It's an ever-changing situation. It's fascinating to me. Obviously, I want more snow where I'm at, but everybody wants some snow, right? Especially these folks in the Northeast who have not really gotten a big storm this year, who are big winter weather fans. But that's all I got, guys. God bless everybody. Y'all have a great day, and stay safe.